Hello and welcome to Yew Tree Fisheries. I'm Haydn Ward and I'm here today with Andy Rogers, our new official cameraman, to shoot a video for you to enjoy. Today I've chosen the small lake to fish out of the larger lake and the smaller lake. I've chosen the smaller lake because the smaller lake offers some great features. First of all, we've got an island, we've got some reeds that are still growing, even in the winter. It's February now and we've still got vegetation growing around the lake, so there's a great feature. We've also got some shallower water around the island that we can cast to. In this bright sunlight, the fish are going to move into that shallower water and they're going to be confident to feed there. That's the plan anyway. Let's see if we can put it into practice. So, we're now sitting here on peg 3 of the small lake at Yew Tree Fisheries. Today, my main attacks are going to be using a method feeder and a pole. I've chosen these methods to fish with today because I think they offer great bait presentation, and in these cooler conditions they're going to work to catch me the fish. I'm going to show you now the rigs that I'm going to use on the pole and the method feeder so you can get a better idea of what I'm using to catch these fish today. With the method feeder that I've set up, I'm using a 25 gram Drennan method feeder in the smallest size. I'm using the smallest size today because, as I said, in the winter the fish don't want a lot of bait, so we've got to scale everything right down. I'm using a 5 pound main line, which is quite light, but it's okay for the winter because the fish aren't fighting as hard. And that comes down from the method feeder then to this Corum quick change bead. That then runs down to that 3 pound hook length, which is 4 inches long, and we've got a very small size 20 hook there, and that's perfect for double maggots. In the winter, dead red maggots seem to work best, and you don't have to kill the maggots by boiling them or freezing them. There's a little trick here I'm going to show you now. If you take the maggot, just rub it between your trouser leg and your finger, a little bit of pressure, not too much that it pops or anything. Rub it for maybe 10 seconds, stop. That maggot now, you might not be able to see it, but I can see it. That maggot now is not wriggling at all, so it's practically dead. And the reason why we do that is because when it's wriggling, the maggot can bury itself in the silt. And in the winter, the fish aren't digging around and clouding up the bottom, no. They're just looking for an easy bait that they can easily reach without using a lot of energy up. So if there's a dormant maggot lying on the lake bed, the fish can easily just suck it up and it doesn't have to dig around the bottom and waste energy. So there we go, we've got 5 pound line, so a small 25 gram Drennan method feeder, 4 inch hook length, a 3 pound to a 20 hook. You're now looking at the pole rig I'm going to use today. I've got a solid number 4 elastic. Number 4 because it's nice and light and it won't bump off the fish. It's still strong enough to land any carp that I hook or bigger fish. And I'm not using a hollow elastic because in these conditions it's just not necessary. Hollow elastics are when we need a stretchy elastic but still it's got a lot of power. We don't need a lot of power today, we just need a soft elastic, not too stretchy and spongy, but one that is not tight at all and will stretch out at the slightest bite. We've got a 3 pound main line to a 0.4 gram float with a thin bristle. Thin bristle because it's easier for the fish to pull under and they don't feel the resistance when they're biting. This means that they won't spit the bait out and we'll be able to catch them. It's as simple as that. 0.4 gram because I'm fishing 4 point of water. The general rule is fish a 0 point whatever, so a 0.1 for 1 foot of water, 0.2 for 2 foot of water. Basically that's the general rule. If it's windy then you might want to go a little heavier, if it's really calm then you might be able to afford to go lighter. That's with 2 rubbers down the stem of the float. Then we've got some bulk here, bulk shot of number 10 stots, Preston Innovation stots, a great invention, great. Then we've got some more number 10s, another bulk a bit further down, and it just gets the bait through the water and holds the rig nice and steady. We've got a bit of tow on the lake today, so that's keeping it nice and steady. The number 11, and then I think that's about it, down to a 20 hook. So, overview of the rig, simple, light, still able to land bigger fish on it because they're not fighting hard this time of the year. Let's put them to the test. Okay then, you're now watching me playing the first fish of the session. I've just cast out to the method feeder line and clipped up on that line, and then I went out over to the island fishing at about 10 metres, and we've just gone in, put my first put in on the pole with a single red maggot on the hook. I just fed 5 maggots over the top and about 15 micro pellets, dropped it in for about 10 seconds, the float buried, and we've got a fish on. We've got a 4 elastic on here today, so I'm just now going to use the puller bung to tighten the elastic, and we're going to now try and net the fish. It's come quite close, so we're tightening the elastic with the puller bung, but this fish seems to be quite strong. I'm very surprised to hook a fish of this size straight away. So as I said, the fish will be in the shallower water close to the island. I was right about that, and we've got a carp on. So we're going to try and net this fish now. Here we go, comes over to the net. Still got some fighting left in him. Light tackle like this, you really got to be careful when you're playing the fish. Here we go, he's trying to go for those little weeds down there. And look at that, straight in the net. Job done, bringing this fish up. Now. Just hooked in the bottom lip. First fish of the day, a lovely mirror carp, about 2 pounds. I'm going to put him in the keep net and I'm going to show you the baits that I'm using today. Great stuff. Show you the baits that I'm going to be using today and how I'm going to use them. So, we've got half a pint of maggots here. A lot of people will probably be thinking, half a pint, gosh, that's not much. But trust me, in the colder weather, you really don't need to go over the top with bait. And half a pint, as long as you're only fishing on the hook with maggot and feeding little and often, then that's all right. If you want to fish a maggot feeder, then a pint's probably better. But for winter fishing, feeding little and often through a cad pot on the pole or by a catapult, then half a pint should do you fine. My next chosen bait is Eastern Angling Centre Zone micro pellets. They're 2 mil, they're hard, but you soak them, and now I'm going to tell you how to soak your micro pellets. Now, when you want to soak your micro pellets so they get that texture which enables them to bind together, then what we need to do is we need to soak the pellets in lake water. To do this, you just need to pour the required amount of pellets into your bait tub, cover it in lake water completely. Okay, so use another bait tub and pour the lake water over, submerge them completely. I'm using 2 mil pellets today, and that requires 2 minutes of them being submerged by water. After that 2 minutes is up, I then place the lid back on the tub, okay, like so. Place the lid back on the tub with a small gap and pour the water out. Then they'll take about 30 to 40 minutes to slightly dry out, and after that, they'll be able to bind together very nicely when you squeeze them. If you're using 3 mil pellets, then you need to soak them for 3 minutes, or 4 mil for 4 minutes. So you get the idea. hopefully you've picked up a few tips. The method feeder hasn't produced, and we've ended up just fishing with the pole today. We've got a nice net of carp here. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again another time. Overall then, a really good day. It's time to pack up. My hands are absolutely frozen, fingers are numb, so we're going to get the gear into the car, head home for a cup of tea. I'm sure Andy wants one. It's come to that time of the video. You've seen how we got on at the fishery, and now it's time to tell you some of the stories that you guys sent in. The first story, and one of my favourite stories that I'm going to read out, is what happened to Matt when he decided to go fishing on a specimen lake with his friend Charlie. Matt and Charlie, well, they were carp fishing, doing an overnight session in a bivvy when the weather turned on them. -2 degrees, lots of wind, and unfortunately they had to go out in the weather in just their underwear. So lads, I feel very sorry for you from just hearing that so far. -2 in your underwear, that must have been absolutely freezing. But what happened next, I'm sure, really made you cold. Matt was out pegging the bivvy down when suddenly he fell flat on his face in all the mud in just his underwear. I don't think it can get much worse than that, to be honest. Unlucky, mate. Better luck next time, and hopefully the weather will be a bit better for you. See, fishing, it's not all about catching fish. Sometimes it's about rolling around in the mud in your underwear. So the final story in this video is going to be introduced to you by Andy Rogers. As I said previously, Andy's the official cameraman now for Angling Addict, and he's worked with me today, and we've produced, hopefully, a video that you've enjoyed. Andy, what can you tell me about the next story?
So the final story of the video has been sent in by Mark Tullett, who went match fishing in Surrey. Over to you for more information.
Thanks, Andy. Yes, Mark, he went fishing, match fishing for a match, but unfortunately the weather was very hard and he only managed to have 2 carp and a roach for £12 of fish. Still, those 2 carp must have been a fairly average to decent size for that bag to come to £12, and it sounds like he enjoyed himself. The winner, however, had 5 carp. We are unaware of that weight, but yeah, overall it was a very hard day's fishing according to Mark, and as you all know, over the winter the days are very hard to fish. Sometimes we can blank, which is very disappointing when we do, but even just catching a few fish in the winter puts a smile on anglers' faces. So my challenge to you is to get out on the bank, even in the coldest weather, fish the right tactics that I've shown you today, and you'll be able to catch just like we have on the bank in the winter.